Now we will study about the basis of curriculum. As I told you that for construction of any building, bases are very important. So, say for example, to build a strong building, what you have to do? The foundation should be very strong. We say that if child is going to a good school, the early education play a greater role in future also. This is very true to say. Similarly, in case of curriculum planning, we prepare and we formulate certain bases on which the curriculum is planned. So, these bases are philosophical bases and psychological basis and sociological basis, technological basis. These are the main, otherwise lot of bases are there, but the main common basis I am taking here. The first one is philosophical basis of education. Philosophy means love of wisdom, ज्ञान से प्यार. In broad sense, philosophers try to seek to understand fundamental truth about the world in which they live and their relationship to the world and to each other. What the philosopher does? The philosopher always try to seek the truth around all the things that we interact and that we perceive. What is truth in these all around us, and how can we seek the truth from these all natural environment? This is the main purpose and this is the main duty or a kind of motto, kind of objective of any philosopher. They always try to know what type of relationship we have with the outer world and with the each other. That is what kind of relationship we have, one human being with the another. So, this is the main purpose of any philosopher. And on the basis of that, what is the belief of the philosopher? On the basis of that, the whole education system is built. Say for example, we are taking few philosophies, main philosophies, that is idealism, naturalism, pragmatism and realism. So, we start from the idealism. What is the philosophy of idealism? The idealism says that one should believe and one should believe in the self-realization. And it focuses on the idea that ideas are the only true reality and essence of what is worth knowing. As per the belief of the idealism, we prepare or we formulate the education system. And first, in any kind of education system, what is the objective of that system? What is the place of curriculum? What is the importance of subjects in the curriculum? What is the place of teacher in the education system? What kind of discipline they require? What kind of teaching methods are required? So, what I want to say that any system is divided into certain points, and point wise we see that what kind of component was there in that particular system. So, first we start from the idealism. Idealism and aims of education. Idealism emphasizes aims for the development of self-realization and the development of spiritual values. Idealism and curriculum. Idealism gives importance to the involvement of mind and emphasizes rote learning. Therefore, as per idealism, curriculum should have the subjects like literature, philosophy and religion. So, what is missing here? Can you imagine? We are missing here experimentation. Idealism believes in self-realization, and he says that if you realized and if you identify yourself, swa, self, if you have identified yourself, then you can do something in the world. So ideas were the main component of this philosophy, and from the ideas we realize that what we are, and on the basis of that the idealistic philosophy says that a man should realize self and try to make the character good character, that leading to spiritual and moral values. Spiritual means thoughtfulness. Moral means that one can understand what is true, what is wrong, and I must be honest, I must pay respect to the elders, I must do my work on time. These all values were concerned with the idealistic philosophy. So is the subject, that is literature, philosophy and religion. There is no place of experimentation, only the student has to learn by memory, and cognitive abilities were strengthened by giving much more emphasis on the memorization. मंत्रों को याद करते थे और मंत्रों का उच्चारण करते थे, and they study any subject with the help of brain faculties, and they try to learn each and everything as the Guru instructed. So next is idealism and teaching method. As you see that when the idealistic philosophy giving much more emphasis on the rote learning, ultimately the teaching method was lecture method and discussion method. This philosophy emphasizes thinking skills, introspection, logic and personal insight. Idealistic philosophers adopted lecture and discussion as teaching method, philosophical basis of education. So they give much more attention to the lecture and to the discussion. Students were sitting, teacher is delivering the oral mode, what he did want to say, and the student were hearing very carefully what the Guru is saying. So these all kind of strategies that was adopted at the time of idealistic philosophy does not give any place to the experimentation or to any kind of true reality. True reality means that is we perceive through the senses. No, only the self-realization was the first and last objective of the idealistic philosophy, and the teacher had to deliver lecture and student were listening, hearing what the Guru is saying. Role of teacher as per idealistic philosophy. According to this philosophy, teacher should have high standards of behavior and conduct. This is the duty of the students to pay respect to their teacher. The teacher has to show or reflect the high standards of behavior and conduct. So if the teacher is strong, then there will be a good impression on the students. So this was the philosophy at the time of idealism, that students were given high regards to the teacher. There are so many stories that are related to this concept, status of teacher in idealism. One I tell you that once Guru Dronacharya went out of ashrama. There was ashram and the students were living, this was the kind of a way of life there. The ashrams were there, Guru were there, students were there, and they all were living all together, interacting with each other, paying respect to each other, love to each other. So this was the kind of style or way of life there. So once Guru Dronacharya went out of ashrama, he assigned duty to his student Arjuna. And he said that I am going out of ashrama. Now you are responsible to look after this ashram. Arjuna told, yes, I would be responsible for that. And Guru went away. Arjuna was looking after all the things very carefully as per instructed by the teacher. But suddenly there was a flow of water from one side. That water was coming towards the kutia, ashrama. So, observing these all, Arjuna was very much worried. What happened? What should I do? All of a sudden he laid down on the ground. Why? Just to stop the flow of water. He thought that if I will let down here, the water will be stopped. This is only the way, because the flow was very fast. And ultimately he let down on the floor and he stopped the water. When Guru came to the ashrama and he saw the Arjuna was lying on the floor, he asked him, why did you do the same? Arjuna replied that you instructed me to look after the kutia, ashrama, and there was a flow of water from this side. If I could not do the same, it will be against your instructions and I could never be able to say a good student of Guruji. So this was the status of a teacher during Vedic period, or when the idealism was followed. Just imagine that what kind of discipline was there, what kind of status of a teacher was recorded, and what kind of spiritual and moral values the student had. So this story gives a message to us that in idealistic theory, the student and teacher relationship was strong, but it was just to say that a student had to follow the teacher without any if and but. So this kind of place of a teacher in this idealistic philosophy ultimately give rise to say that teacher is the first in the education system. After that, the student and other resources. So what I want to say, that as per the beliefs, so is the education system. That I explained here about this idealistic philosophy and all other kind of components that comes under the head of education system. I told you. Now next is the idealism and discipline. As per idealistic philosophy, the student should be self-disciplined. There is no kind of instruction that you sit in that way, you stand in that way, you don't ask me, you don't talk with another one, no instruction. Self-disciplined. What is right, what is wrong, you have to identify it and adopt it in your behavior also, and you show this behavior. It should be reflected in your behavior also. So it was the self-disciplined. Students were self-disciplined, no instructions were imposed, only it was assumed or it was accepted by everyone that we had to follow such kind of behavior when we are going through these all kind of education. They emphasized development of self and character formation in the students, and education should help the students to grow spiritually, ethically and morally. They emphasize that development of self, that was only possible through memorization. by the rote learning. So the idealistic philosophy gives much more attention to the rote learning and to the kind of memorization, and much more place was giving to the subjects that need these memorization. What were these subjects? Spirituality, ethically to be strong, morally to be strong, and the student should learn the philosophy, literature, and religion. So these were the subjects. So students had to learn and memorize all the concepts of these all, and uh, he had to learn the things dictated by the teacher. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato is considered to be the father of idealism in philosophy. So Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle, names of the idealistic philosopher, and they were the way of teaching the pupil were like this, that they are standing and there is a circle, people are standing making a circle, and they are dictating lecture or whatever they want to say. They are delivering orally and others were listening, and the impression was that whatever the eminent person is saying, it is true. So everyone has to follow this. So in that way the masses were educated. The mass education was giving in that way that the anyone who is quite educated is dictating or lecturing, and sometimes discussing with the pupil that what is true, what is wrong, and explaining and asking the curiosity of the people also, and explaining in that way that what you should do and what you should not do. So this was the idealistic philosophy. So in that way we must learn that the idealistic philosophy gives much more importance to the self-realization, and as per the beliefs of the philosophy, they have built the education system where we study about the objectives of idealism, and we must say that these objectives are related to self-realization, and self-discipline is there. Curriculum, religion, literature, philosophy, those subjects that they need memorization and rote learning were considered in the curriculum. The status of the teacher was quite high, and a student has to obey the instruction of a teacher, and strictly it had to follow by the students, and students were self-disciplined. What the teacher is saying, they followed it, and along with this other kind of activities that is related to um, making the students self-realized, that were also giving the place in the curriculum of idealistic philosophy, etc. So overall this idealistic philosophy gives much more importance to the memorization, much more importance to the control of the senses, and physical exercises were also given importance, like yoga, sadhana, concentration, and sitting in that way in a posture that you are the conscious and alert regarding your environment. So these all were the main components of education system of idealistic philosophy. Thank you very much.